Oh, no, the Lightning game was an easy victory for the Bolts. We'll get to that later. But, no, the baseball game, buddy, that it's a fun game.
It was, in some circumstances, I felt like a bit of an experiment kind of late in the season.
Yeah, I did
some
too.
of the arms we threw.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I thought
hey,
so too.
yo.
Well, this is the problem with the format. I've told you this before. You know how I feel about this. This is these one-off Tuesdays. It's not a series. It drives me nuts.
But it's got nothing to do with the Gators. It has everything to do with racking up a win over an RPI opponent. And, Ballmeister, to his credit, came out after a first pitch home run that was bombed. That was the only kid who really did a ton of damage off of him. But it felt very much like a Tuesday game when the stakes are high, because if you win that one, now you're really in the driver's seat to host.
Yeah, listen, obviously you don't want to get walked off on, and if he had to do it over again, I don't believe he would have made the decision that he did. Armstrong there, I mean,
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't have done that.
No, you leave hair in there. I think. Of
course, I think you do too. But I don't want to play results. That's the hardest thing. I mean,
that was the first guess. I'm sure you were too.
Oh yeah,
like, whoa. I get the lefty thing.
Well, yeah, he's trying to play the lefty odds,
but if you've got that kind of off-speed stuff to the other side of the plate, that's why you're in the role. Like that's why you might be the newly imbued closer.
Yeah.
Of the team.
And I love him. That's the thing. He's a very good player and has been really, really reliable. And if you leave him in there to start the ninth and you get those first two outs like that, I just don't. A single doesn't scare me away from him. I keep him in.
Yeah, 100%.
When you go to Andrew Armstrong there, it's you don't expect him to kill
like him. Who?
Yeah, I thought
in what spot?
But that was a bomb. That was not cheated. I'm like, can you serve that up any better, sir? My God, that is belt high. Get you some.
Well, the magic number remains at 4. Not that you couldn't guarantee a win. It's a tie ball game, but I think you could pretty well feel good about your chances of going into the 10th inning. That's what hurts in that situation. Let's hope that in regional play, roles are carved out, and we're not saying who in what spot.
Didn't you think that? And this is so interesting for me. Scolaro is an interesting player in a lot of ways. So there's no way to ignore the 4 1/3 with 7 Ks of what was it? 2 hits, 3 hits? Something.
Yeah, there's 2.
Yeah, there's no way to ignore that the line that he produced is good. But you don't have to give up the inherited runners as easily.
No, this is
who he is.
This is again. I thought they were living and dying by advanced numbers here. This reeks of gut and not advanced numbers, because I would be certain, without looking at it, admittedly, I don't have them in front of me, that bringing him in a high leverage situation is not as easy for Jonah as starting a game or starting an inning clean.
I think it's true of any pitcher for the most part.
But with stuff that he has, it's frustrating. You're right. If you look at it and you say 4+ innings, whatever it is.
Well, but let me push back a little. I see both sides of this one with the Scolaro situation. He can strike people out. I mean, obviously, he had 7 Ks in 4 innings. You're trying to miss bats there. He's thinking he can get a strikeout. I can live with that. It didn't work out. I mean,
the previous start against Florida, and I'm talking specifically about the Florida Tuesday series, he was excellent. He was as nails as it's almost like he was what do they call it? An opener, like what the Rays would use, right? You're not expecting him to go 7, but get us into the 3rd, get us into the 4th, do what you're supposed to do. And that was more about balls put in play and letting the defense go work. It's just, I thought by now, and I understand some guys were not available, like Dunn clearly couldn't be available. He threw 5 innings on Sunday, and Crowell apparently was not available last night.
That's where you really get robbed of the true series and the bench and the depth of your rotation and the depth of your bullpen. Like the series, I'm a broken record, and I'm very aware of it. That's why I'm stuttering through this. I hate these singular one-offs. The series deserves to be played at a high intensity level with all men available. That you ought to play this series Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday 4 in a row, like they used to do it. My 1 versus year 1, my 2 versus year 2, my 3 versus year 3. We'll put it together in game 4 like we used to. And I see the depth of my bench and the depth of your bench, and I find out what we are and what you are, and we all walk out of there knowing through 4 games, these 2 teams thoroughly tested in a way that's befitting the rivalry.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that point, but I'm not even looking at it as a game against Florida. I'm looking at it as an RBI opportunity,
but I'm saying
a critical one that you don't.
Yeah.
Why be flippant? It felt flippant with a couple.
He would argue, I don't know, but he would argue, look, I just wanted lefty on lefty. I felt good about what he brought to the table. Now, I mean, when you see the ball hit 500 feet, you probably think, well, oops.
I get lefty on lefty. Like, I can understand that argument. It's just, I don't think Davis was showing signs at 32 pitches of wearing down.
I wouldn't have done it either. I agree with you. I wouldn't have done it. But it is so easy to play results there.
It is. But you have to
trust that we're telling the truth.
On my honor, I'm going, what?
I know. I think the other thing, and this is true of baseball in general, it never happens if you're not 2 of 9 with runners in scoring position. And I'm not mad about that. That's baseball. People always say, like, well, you got to come up with the big hits. Well, they're trying to come up with the big hits. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you square it up. It's right at some son of a bitch. And you couldn't have hit the ball any harder than you did. Other times, guy gets completely fooled, is way out in front, screws himself into the ground, hits it off the end of the bat, and it drops in 3 runs score. I mean, it's just bizarre.
Right. I think also, if you're going to play the Zen Master role here, you're not going to be put in this position where your staff is spent unless you go the distance in a regional. Like, you're not going to be in this position
not going to see this again.
Right. I just wish that, that was an opportunity that we could have capitalized on. I'm not even mad about the game being tied 5-5 either. You've gotten to a position where I think Hare can get you the out. And unless he's looking at the dugout saying, I'm done, go get the out.
It's what you can't. That's the problem with us right here today. Like, you can't know. You don't know what they were looking at from a pitch, because they're turning around and playing on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is important to know. Like, a lot of these decisions are based around, you're about to play a 3-game series against North Carolina starting Thursday.
Sure.
So
listen, if this is the kid that you start the 10th with, that's a little bit more understandable, but he just, I had to remember who he was because I don't see him very often. That's my point.
Well, to be sure, the utterance Armstrong,
right,
in households all around, we're probably, I think that refrain.
And if Crowell's available, you throw him there in that situation.
Of course.
Surely Carson Montgomery might have been available. I mean, he didn't have that long of an outing on Sunday, so no, I guess not. Maybe not.
I don't know if he was or not. Moreover, if you're going to use Carson Montgomery in a significant way on Thursday.
Right. As a closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, we're getting to that place.
That could retroactively make me feel better, but,
That's what we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's a terrible way to lose the series. 2 games to 1. One of these days, I'll continue to scream it from the mountaintop. We'll get fortunate, and they'll do the right thing by this series and play it the way that is befitting of the 2 programs in a meaningful fashion. Because it's not Sully that wanted to do away with the series the way it is. I mean, you got to go all the way back, and I think it was Arnold who originally did this. Joe Arnold was the coach at Florida all those moons ago when they decided we don't want to play this series that way anymore. That pisses me off.
You got me. It's been a complaint forever. Hopefully these guys are man enough to fix it. And you know what? Why don't you do it the week of exams? Meade has all but called the ACC cowardly for not wanting midweek games or not allowing for it. Maybe it was the university. I forget. Whoever it was, he says, You're cowards. It's exam. Who cares if it's exam week? There you go. Well, maybe you could find common ground with O'Sullivan to do Thursday through Sunday then. If you're having a trouble, with a Tuesday on exam week, then all right, let's do Thursday to Sunday late in the season. You'll know what you are at that point.
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah. And even if you just wanted to play a 3-game series, like, give me a real series over, fine. Maybe you don't want to play, like, I keep going back to what I used to witness and really had the lucky break of breaking into media at the time that I did. And I got to work color with Lee Bowen for a couple of series. And one of them was the great Florida State Florida series, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, many, many moons ago now. May he rest in peace. But the intensity was incredible. It was so much fun. But I get that you're probably never going to go back to a 4-game series the way it used to be. Fine, give me a 3-game series where I can see ace versus ace, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3. Let's go. Give me Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just alternate each year where it's played.
Also, one of the minor plays of the game that really frustrated me is I don't know if you believe this as well, but base running wise, it's the fly ball to right, the kid catches and the gate goes open.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might be able to score even tagging on that play. Why is he? I mean, where was he? At third base? And why do you need to be there? Because if that ball drops, even if you're close to second, even if you're outright tagging at second, you're going to score because it's going to rattle around in the corner. And we didn't advance a base in that situation. Again, little details. We'll be talking about them a lot more fervently if that costs you a regional or a chance to advance in a super, but that was a bit of a frustrating move because I don't understand why you would be more than halfway off in that moment.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the postseason to begin. I'm ready for this series against North Carolina to begin, but I'm ready for the postseason to begin. I think I got a feel for what they are: flaws, warts, and all, strengths as well.
Nice to see Tibbs hit another gorgeous home run to right.
I'm telling you, that kid is a superstar. Do you know how good that kid's going to be by the time he walks from here?
As long as we pay him to stay.
Well, that swing, from the first time I ever saw it, and in again last night, you can bet I watched that slow motion over and over and over again because there is no wasted motion. It is a glorious swing. It's a professional swing. Every time you see it, you're like, look at that. My God, that is a perfect swing. That kid's a beast. But baseball's so weird that I get careful. I mean, Conforto had probably one of the greatest swings I've ever seen as well. And is he in the league?
He's hurt. Yeah.
I don't know if he'll ever make it back to the bigs.
He may or may not. I mean, he was a budding hero in the World Series. He would have been.
Conforto, though, if you think about how little movement there is, how beautiful it is, power to all fields.
He developed a loop later.
Oh, well, no.
Because he got domed.
Well, he was broken. I'm saying when we first saw Conforto, I remember thinking, oh, my God, look at that guy. He's so still. Everything is so still.
Was it 2 bombs in one game of the World Series?
Yeah, and he just was beautiful. He let the ball travel.
Yep.
He'd
go to left center with power.
He trusted everything.
Yeah, he let it get late in the zone.
So when you see these guys and you're like, oh man, that's what you would ideally teach. That's Tibbs. Every time I see him, It certainly helps that he swings it from that side. You rarely say it about a righty.
Rarely. There are some.
Edgar Martinez back in the day had the same swing from the right side. It was simply gorgeous.
He wasn't any Ken Griffey Jr. from the right side in terms of aesthetics, but I always just loved Moises Alou. Moises Alou was he would hack at it, and it was always on the ball, barrel the ball.
Yeah, he brought the handle.
Yep.
But I would say that from the right side, the kind of aesthetically pleasing swings that are usually described for lefties, which, again, you hit the nail on the head just noting Ken Griffey Jr., which had the most fluid, beautiful swing north of Darryl Strawberry.
One of the icons of my childhood.
Well, Darryl Strawberry was insane watching him swing a bat.
Not one of the icons of my childhood before my time.
But I watched Straw swing it when he first came in the league, and I thought, well, look at that. That is effortless. It's a flick, and it's so fluid and beautiful. But from the right side, you rarely see it. I don't know. I'm going down memory lane here. I do want to talk about the transfer portals. Let's do it next. I know we do it on a daily basis around here, but there's a reason this time around. I want to answer a question. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Refreshing and simple. 2 words you don't hear many people use to describe their experience going through the process of getting a home loan. That's what puts the Hamilton Home Loans experience in a category all their own. If you're buying or refinancing a home, Hamilton Home Loans will provide a personalized mortgage experience that is dedicated to making the process refreshingly simple. It all begins with an initial consultation with an experienced Hamilton Home Loans advisor to find out what your goals are in order to find the right mortgage to suit your specific needs. Then, your personal home loan advisor will take you through all the steps from application, underwriting, approval, and closing, all the way to the front steps of your new home. Once you've experienced the Hamilton Home Loan process, you can be a customer for life and never have to pay lender fees again. For first responders, nurses, physician assistants, teachers, active and retired military, ask about the Hamilton for Heroes program. Personalized attention with your needs put first. Now that's refreshingly simple. Find out more at HamiltonHomeLoans.com. That's HamiltonHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 200719. Paul's Termite and Pest Control has been serving North Florida for over 50 years. When you've been around that long, you're certain to see change. Back in the day, almost all of our competitors were just like us, owned and operated by local people to keep their lawns green, protect North Florida customers from pests, and their homes from termites. We always had a great respect for our competitors because they truly cared about the well-being of our community as we at Paul's do. But things began to rapidly change. The local competition began selling out to big companies based in places like Orlando, Atlanta, and Memphis. Local decisions being made by people who know very little about the unique needs of North Florida. And now, many of them are being bought by international companies based overseas. Local decisions made by people in Great Britain. In our industry, being local does matter. Paul's Termite and Pest Control is still owned, managed, and operated by people that live in North Florida. This is our community. We proudly make it our home, and all of our decisions are made locally to serve our customers. For the elimination of termites and other pests,
and a greener lawn too, call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Hey, this is Dustin Rivest. During the pandemic, I noticed restaurants struggling with online ordering and watched as all the major third parties took advantage of our local restaurants and thought there must be a better way, which is why I created foodiestakeout.com. The unique thing about Foodies Takeout is that restaurants keep 100% of their order revenue versus splitting upwards of 30% with the third parties like Uber Eats and Bite Squad. At Foodies Takeout, you can find some of your favorite restaurants, such as Jerry's Midtown Cafe, Misty's Kitchen in Frenchtown, Casa Grande, and even El Jalisco. Or if you're on the north side of town, check out Horizons Bar and Grill. Why not give us a try? Head to foodiestakeout.com or text foodies to 230-9456, and I'll even give you 10% off your first meal. Supporting local restaurants has never been easier. Visit foodiestakeout.com.
Wooden Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Wooden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Wooden Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at woodenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Is the time of year where it's best and fun to answer questions. So getting back to this, first of all, the Winston Wright. Let's start with Winston Wright, and then I'll get into transfer portal stuff. People want updates on Winston Wright, and so it is. He apparently, and this is really good news, just from a personal standpoint. I gets into a car accident. You want them to be on the road to recovery as quickly as possible, obviously. And to hear that his rehab is going exceptionally well, GeneWilliams.com, Warchant.com posted an update on the boards today and noted that, the stuff we heard, all of us, anybody on the beat, about that car accident was minimal. We didn't hear a lot because, and I think Norvell does a very good job with this, he respects people's medical status. He's not going to get a lot of information out there for people that are injured, no matter how they're injured. He respects that. That's a personal matter, and he doesn't really bring it up unless it's been okayed by the young man, his family, whatever it might be, or if the information is readily available. He'll address it only after everybody has talked and is comfortable with it. So we just didn't know a lot about the severity. We had heard it was really bad, and that we know he was required to have surgery. So if you hear surgery and you think about the time of year that the injury happened, you're kind of thinking to yourself, it might be safe to assume we're not going to get a lot out of Winston Wright this year. And I think most of us have thought that. We didn't know for sure, and nobody said that, but we kind of thought, seems unlikely. He's a transfer to begin with. He really got precious little time on the field in spring before the accident. So, in fact, I don't ever remember seeing him catch a football in practice. I was at those practices. I saw him dressed, but I don't remember saying, "Oh, that's Winston Wright. Nice catch." I don't remember that at all.
I don't think at team drills.
No, I don't think so.
He might have in those individual breakout work sessions, but that was it.
So we didn't get to see him in those team drills, and so I just thought, well, you got a new player, a new offense, doesn't really get to participate in spring. Yes, he's an experienced player, the most proven of the receiving corps, and that's why it was such a big get to have a guy that's done it in the Power 5. You could turn on the tape and watch him succeeding against high-level competition, like the competition he'll face here. You thought, oh, that's a huge get for Florida State in the portal. That's a guy, that's a plug-and-play guy. And then to have that happen is just more bad luck. And it seems like, in addition to some missteps, they've been really unfortunate when it comes to luck. Florida State, that is. Mike Norvell and staff. But now you hear that the rehab is going along nicely. And, of course, Winston himself is throwing out optimistic tweets. You see his tweets. He's talking about money here and stuff like that and putting highlight reels up. So he must think he's going to play this year, clearly. But what we know is that while the rehab has gone very well and he seems to be progressing very nicely, we don't know what the timetable is specifically on the return. There's the thought that maybe he'd be ready to play mid-season. We don't know. That if things continue to go exceedingly well, who knows, could be sooner. So if you're him, you're kind of considering a couple things. He clearly wants to play in the NFL. And he considers this, he's tweeted it out himself, money year. Considers this to be a money year. All right, well, where do you draw the line? If during the rehab process, the doctors tell you you're not going to be cleared to play until week 7. And I don't know this. I'm saying, where would you draw the line? Would you come back and play 5 games? Is that enough, do you think? Indoctrinate yourself in the offense, learn it, come out, hit the ground running week 6, week 7, week. Or would you say, you know what? Let's get in the best shape possible. Let's wait a year.
Well, what's interesting is, and this is the COVID eligibility stuff that just, it won't go away for another few years until you purge it through a cycle, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But he's technically a redshirt junior. So I thought when he came on campus, he was another one I thought was just a 1-year rental type player.
Right.
I know that's his goal. That's ultimately his goal. But I think that answers the question of where would you draw the line in a better way for this season for Florida State. So it's like you can only play 5 games. If you haven't done enough, you still have another year if you need it. Yeah. It's not like you're going to spend it and then that's it.
Yeah, that's
at
fair.
the 5-game count.
Sometimes, though, because of the age factor, kids are hell-bent on, okay, this is when I have to leave.
Sure.
You know, this is when I'll have the most leverage. So I don't know. Listen, the bottom line is I want him to be healthy. I hope he's okay. It sounds like he's doing great. And you know what? Selfishly, let's hope this rehab continues to kick ass and all of a sudden we get an infusion of good news for once. And all of a sudden, weeks from now, we hear, hey, he may be ready to go by LSU. All right. Wouldn't that be great for him, for us, and everybody involved? And I'm not saying the kid's Randy Moss, but I'm saying there's a lot of experience there and a guy that can certainly help upgrade this receiving corps, which is lacking. I mean, there's just no other way of saying it. It's lacking. It's not a good receiving corps. It was arguably the worst in the ACC last year.
He was also the answer for you at kick returner. Now, I don't know if this injury would make his camp say, yo, no, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down catching a pass, not catching a kickoff and running it back. But, you know, when you brought these 2 in, and I know it was 4 receiver transfers that came in, but when you brought Pittman in and Winston Wright in, you thought Pittman's my punt returner, Winston Wright's my kick returner. We automatically just got better in those 2 particular phases of special teams. So we'll see. We'll see what he's able to do. But, yeah, I mean, it's great to hear that there's good news rather than we still don't know. It's nice.
Yeah. The other thing here is, and by the way, I'll answer this just because it's fun. No matter how many times it comes up, I always bring it up. I point this out. There's no quarterback for them to go get, David. Yes, if Jordan Travis gets hurt, they're going to have a losing record. I agree. Who were they going to get? There was nobody to go get. You couldn't go get Caleb Williams. He was going to USC with Lincoln Riley and a lot of money. Good luck. Who were you going to go get that it was appreciably better and available? There isn't. So you're stuck. Now, they did go recruit a quarterback. He's on campus. He participated in spring. Looked good. Duffy looks like he's going to be a player.
Yeah, probably in a year or
mean,
so.
Yeah, that's what you're waiting on. I mean, what can you do? Now, if you say, at the end of this year, do we need to go get somebody in the transfer portal? Well, we'll see who's available. Let's find out who's out there.
Right, and it's not unique to Florida State. We're panicking here because we understand. I think these questions come out of a general understanding that this is a critical year. You got to get this one right. But, I mean, if Malik Cunningham goes down for Louisville, are they going to be screwed? Probably.
Yes, most teams
if Devin
who lose
Leary
their
goes
starting
down.
quarterback for the year are screwed.
We saw what Boston College was offensively with Dracovic hurt. They weren't much more even when he came back. But you know what? If he goes down, they're in real trouble. Anybody in our division, except for maybe Clemson. If DJ went down last year, they would have been about the same, scoring nothing. But,
I think I think the frustration boils over, and you just feel like with all of the transfer portal news that is out there on a daily basis, that if you're not, I guess, filling every possible need with elite level talent that you see going elsewhere, the thought is that we're not doing enough. But the truth is, for what is available, Florida State brought in 10 guys. 8 of those guys are going to play either as starters or major snaps for this team this year, and they are all, we think, for the most part, upgrades. Tatum Bethune is going to start at linebacker. He is an immense upgrade from any linebacker you have in the program. That's a great get, okay? We can go through this. Go through the Micah Pittman. If he's not starting, he's still repping a ton of snaps. I think
he's got to be starting.
Yeah. He's a huge upgrade. He's a big deal. You can keep going down this list. Trey Benson's probably going to be your starting running back. Probably, I think. Certainly going to warrant a ton of snaps. These are all guys they got to fulfill these roles, and they hit on these guys. We just watched them. They're good players. It's exciting. Now, Jared Verse is not going to be as good as Jermaine Johnson, but everybody wanted Jared Verse, and his upside is huge, and maybe in 2 years, we're talking about him as a first-round draft pick or a second-round draft pick, whatever. So that was a big get. We can keep going. These are big gets. They've done exceptionally well in that regard. The high-profile stud quarterbacks that you'd want to bring in, let's be frank, part of the problem is the predicament Florida State finds themselves in. You're not going to get Caleb Williams or whomever you want to name that you think is on that level. Nobody's on that kid's level. But if you want to name somebody that's akin to that, that's a plug-and-play starting quarterback, right? Well, which of those kids are excited to come play behind this offensive line? Which of those kids are like, yeah, let me pick Florida State, who hasn't had a winning season in 4 years? Man, we're not on the map.
That's why it was impressive in its own right that you were able to land as many receivers as we did. Because if I'm a receiver and I'm looking for landing spots, I understand that there are snaps to be had at Florida State.
Oh, tons
I'm
of
looking
them.
at the offense and I'm saying, I don't know.
I'm looking at the quarterback who's yet to prove to me that he can throw in rhythm in a drop-back pass game. And if he can they protect him? If I'm a receiver or a quarterback and I'm looking at that situation, I'm like, man, I don't know.
In a year or 3, yeah, you could see it. That offensive line class is coming in, impressive. Duffy looks like a good player. Parson behind him, and as long as he signs, okay. It looks like you've got the makings of, if I'm a receiver, an attractive landing spot in the near future. But this particular season, it's a leap of faith. Winston Wright took a leap of faith. So did Pittman. I understand that the opportunity is there.
Also, but those two kids, and let's be honest about what we're talking about here, those two kids aren't like the creme de la creme of available receivers.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, it wasn't like we were grabbing the best 3 or 4 receivers or choosing from them. I mean, we had to get kids who were a tier below who can really help us.
Right. They're still impressive, though, because I don't know what we offer. If you're just looking at the tape, I get the brand, I get all that stuff, but we haven't been relevant in college football in years, more than a handful now.
Yeah.
And this offensive line's bad. The quarterback is a question mark as a passer. So if I'm a receiver,
I'm not.
I've got to hear a hell of a pitch from the coaching staff to say, you know what? Okay, I believe you. I'm going to go down to Tallahassee. And they were able to do it 4 times over.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I'm willing to go there with you to some extent. I mean, look, a couple of those receivers they got, who were they competing with? I mean, I'm not sure that they were competing with.
I hear you. It's Johnny Wilson. It's the outline of Johnny. Deuce Span's a project. I got
Deuce Span's a project. Nobody was breaking down the door for an Illinois receiver with 5 receptions. So it didn't matter. You weren't going to have to worry about competing for anybody there. And Johnny's what he is. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Now, listen, I can see that Johnny Wilson could turn out to be a huge plus for you before it's all said and done. He could. He may also just be an average-ass player who drops too many passes. Very well could be that too.
Wait a minute, though. An average-ass player at that size who drops too many passes is still an upgrade. Because in the grand scheme, like you're talking about in the offensive line, of butt-ass average or ass sorry, the receivers are worse than ass sorry.
Oh, the
so if you get an average-ass receiver that's 6'7", all right, that is a market upgrade.
Let's hope.
Nicely done.
Yeah, let's hope he's that. I hope so. I didn't see enough in spring to make the leap that my cohorts at warchant.com want to make. I love everybody, and we can agree to disagree on this one. I didn't see much from him. He might turn into a player, though, because, I mean, you can't teach that size. You're right about that. If you're going to take a chance on somebody, you take a chance on 6'7" that can high point. All right. I got you.
He doesn't have to go in the first round. He doesn't have to be drafted at all.
He could just be a good college football player.
Right.
No. He could just be a good college football player, and that would help us. I mean, it's whenever we get into these discussions about transfer portal and where the program's at and what has to happen, I get riled up for a couple of reasons, because it is a reminder of the dearth of talent that we have on campus at playing football. It relative to elite level football. It drives me nuts to sit here and think that that's the best we're going to do, that you're going to bring in at Florida State that guy, okay? I mean, I'm not even trying to rip that guy. I'm not. I'm just saying that, like, those are the guys you're choosing from right now because you can't do much better. And it eats at me that we're still having this conversation. The receivers have been sorry as hell for some time now.
Also, I know that this is a touchy subject for the Noles card, but in the grand scheme of the program's history, for as productive as it's been, it really has never been on the level of defensive line or linebacker or defensive back.
Line, we're all time great. Yeah.
Right.
Receivers
have been like, okay, you had a stud here or there.
Yeah. The Peter Warks of the world have existed. Yes.
But it hasn't been littered like, say, Alabama has the last 6 years. Well, but in our 14-year run, it wasn't even like that.
No, it wasn't. We had really good players and elite level quarterback play, and really that was a balanced, unbelievable team for 14 consecutive seasons. I mean, they had a lot of everything. But you're right. I mean, had they not booted Randy Moss off the team,
that would have been a conversation changer in a lot of ways. A lot of ways.
Yeah. It's just. It does drive me a little mad just looking at the receiver room, and I'm like, golly. I have to hope. I mean, we have to.
Still makes you smile a little bit more than the tight end room, though.
Like, I don't even talk about the tight end room. I don't even talk about it. What's the point? But see, again, this is where we're at. This is like here you and I are talking on a Balls McWednesday, and we're just kind of throwing out there areas of need, and we haven't even addressed this sorry-ass offensive line. And just like that, it occurs to you, offensive line's not any good, receivers lacking to say the least. You have one average tight end and a bunch of nothing behind him.
And yet the quarterback is able to put up high 20s and low 30s in points with that set of parameters. That's the biggest compliment you could pay to Jordan Travis is, as a passer, sure, Is he uneven? That's more than fair to him, I would think, at this point. And I
Mhm.
think you would agree with that. You got an O-line that can't protect for you. You got receivers last year that couldn't separate. So everybody knows what's coming. And yet,
Yeah, he can make you miss.
he can
in a phone
engineer
booth.
and get you to a place where you're scoring
Well,
between 27 and 31 points a
and
game, which is
Atkins-
crazy.
And Atkins, I would, and obviously Norvell, they do a very good job of engineering a running game. Their utilization of angles and they find a way to create. They overload. They really do. You find they get an extra man and they make things happen in the run game. And so they figured out how to manipulate and get numbers, but it's you're having to do these things because you just can't line up and beat people, and I guess, when selfishly I long for the days where I say, well, look, I'm not here to trick you. My receiver, you may very well know you want a pattern match. Go ahead. He's still going to catch it. He's still going to catch it because he's that good. Or, the whole world knew Dalvin Cook was getting the ball. Dalvin's like, watch this. I'm going to set you up, peace. And we just don't have difference makers. I guess that's what I'm getting at more than anything else. We just don't have difference makers. You don't look out there and go, that guy changes the scoreboard. That guy decides, doesn't matter that you know what I'm running. Doesn't matter that you call the play in advance.
Yeah,
we don't have any of those guys.
If you had to rank your top 3 difference makers at this point with this roster on offense, it would be Jordan Travis 1.
Jordan Travis 1 with his legs.
Number 2, who would it be? Because I'm already leaning towards Trey Benson. It might be.
Possibly. He had a tremendous spring. He was that was an exciting revelation to see that not only is he healthy, but that he is seemingly the guy that was originally recruited by Mike Norvell. That he's a guy that they identified at 6'1", 215 that can really go, that runs with an edge, but also can run away from you. He was all of that in the spring. So I am excited about him. If he turns out to continue to develop in that way and can handle the workload, I agree with you. I'd put him at number 2. And then I think at 3, it's Micah.
Yeah.
Micah Pittman, I think, comes in and makes an immediate splash for this team. I think he probably is your best receiver day one when we go out there.
Yeah, unless Wright gets all of camp or something. Yeah, those lines.
Yeah. I think he's probably the guy, right? I think the biggest surprise regarding Micah was that he can make the tough catch in traffic, that he can make the contested catch.
Yeah.
Given how diminutive he is, and the first day I saw him, I thought, okay, that's gonna be tough.
He creates windows. He's got a great understanding of how to position his body to put the quarterback
his body really
in a
well.
position. Yeah.
Plus, he's strong. He's got a whole lot of what for. He catches everything. He really does. He's the opposite of Johnny Wilson. He catches everything. So, yeah, I think he's definitely a difference maker. Yeah, it's those 3 guys. And then really you don't have anybody else.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You just really don't have.
Trayshawn's a nice player. And
he's a nice change of pace guy. Runs real hard. He plays with great heart. He has some ability. He's not an elite running back, but he'll help. He helps you.
I think the good thing is with all of these, we'll call them average players, below average Florida State, but average ACC players at the skill positions. At least they're varied enough skill set wise that you can do different things with them. They're not all the same player. Like, for example, when we were, banging our head against the wall with Bobo and Kermit as a starting receivers, like it's the same guy.
Yeah, same
and
guy.
You've got Auden Tate and you've got this kid and that.
Yeah, it drove me
Why
nuts.
are we running the same guy out there?
Right.
At least Johnny Wilson, if he's going to be an average player, is a huge dude. And Ja'Kai Douglas, if he's an average player, is going to be a burner that you can match up on a linebacker or something along those lines. You've got variety. Same thing in the offensive backfield, too. Trayshawn's not the same kind of player as Trey Benson. And then, CJ Campbell, if he gets awarded a Scully or Rodney Hiller, you've got variety there.
No, the running back room's not bad. Yeah, if we're talking about rooms, the running back room's not bad. It's not, plus. We're not looking at nobody's mistaking our running back room for Alabama's. But it's
right. Toafili's got a role. You get him 7 to 10 touches a game. You could have one explosive one for 30 or 40 yards. Yeah, you've got enough variety of average and a couple of difference makers. It might be enough because they had less to work with last year. Undoubtedly, they had less to work with.
Well, and remember this too. They'll be helped out by a couple of things that will lead directly to more points and better opportunities to win games. And that is special teams, somebody who catches the ball on punt returns. Okay, so seriously, all jokes aside, just a guy that catches the damn football will lead directly to more points per game this season. Having to forever start inside your 20 because some dumbass lets a ball drop at the 45 and roll 25 to 30 yards, that's done. That's done, okay? So now you're done doing that. That helps. Secondarily, your defense is going to be better. Your defense is going to be pretty good. You got a chance to get some 3-and-outs and get field position. This is going back to field position because you're better on defense and you're better in special teams. And if that's the case, you'll score more points. The offense doesn't have to, work miracles to go 80 yards.
Right, and a 60-yard drive is now a touchdown and not a 35-yard field goal or a 41-yard field goal that you're sweating out.
Yeah.
You might come away empty-handed.
We could do this. We should do this, and I'm sure somebody already has, and I've just blocked it out, pushed it away from my memory. But, we talk about, and the joke is they're not hidden yards. They're obvious. We're looking at them. Look at all these yards. So that they're costing themselves in special teams. But I can only imagine, by way of comparison to just other teams in this conference, how many points they cost themselves in field position lost. It's ridiculous.
On punts alone.
Yeah. We had to have been last ass place in the ACC.
Yeah.
In lost field position because of a refusal to catch a punt.
Oh, this is the number one thing that I'm mad about from last year. Like, truly mad at the staff for is special teams was such an abject disaster that, by week 7 or week 8, you're still returning kicks. And it's like, okay, you just want to continue to start at your 13-yard line? Because here's what's you're either going to get tackled inside the 15 or you're going to go out to the 27 for 2 yards and here's a flag.
Now, remember, the reason they gave for the incessant returning of kicks, or the insistence, I should say, was that they didn't want to create a mindset of passivity, right? They wanted them to be
okay, then go for it on every fourth down. Go for it on 4th and 27. We don't want to be passive.
No. You know what I'm talking about.
Because that's what it felt like the chances were to get to the 35-yard line if the kick wasn't going out of bounds.
Yeah.
It felt like it was 4th and 22.
Yeah.
Good luck.
No, I know. No, they're going to catch them this year, buddy. They're going to catch these punts and they're going to catch kickoffs and they're going to do something about it. I'm telling you, they have to. They have to. They got to win games. Man, if I were Norvell, I'd rarely sleep. I'd spend a lot of time thinking about where are the hidden yardages and moments in the game that we're missing out on.
So was it just me, or did you hear more voices in special teams drills? I mean, coaches' voices, special teams drills this spring. I thought I heard more. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I heard that there were more coaches helping out and individual instruction during special teams. I'm not pointing at all at JP. He's a decent recruiter and he's a good defensive ends coach.
Yes, he is.
I'm not saying fire the dude. I'm just saying, if you're going to be that god-awful at special teams.
Well, it makes no sense. They practiced it to death. It was an excess that they practiced.
That tells you how little depth they have, because typically your depth shines with special teams.
Well, the other reason, well, I'll get myself in trouble. Yeah, they practice special teams a lot, my friend. That is perhaps the most damning indictment of them being bad at special teams.
And my favorite part of the spring practices you were at is when special teams drill started, you walked away.
I walked away. I'm done watching it.
Believe it when you see it.
I don't need to watch it. I watched them do it a million times last year. It's the same damn thing. I don't need to do it. I walked away. You're right. It was cooler on the other side of the stadium. I would just chill out. If we were at Hauser, I'd go down there. I'd gaze upon the field. Think, look at that new padding.
You'd be like, Krista, how many periods we running special teams here? That's 15 minutes? All right. Great. I got a call to make anyway.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Former U.S. Representative Corinne Brown, whose initial conviction in a charity fraud case was tossed out by an appeals court, will plead guilty before a second trial. U.S. District Judge Timothy Corrigan, scheduled to change a plea hearing Wednesday morning for Brown, pleaded not guilty to 18 charges, including mail-and-wire fraud. Before the fraud case, Brown represented the Jacksonville area in Congress for about 25 years. Florida Highway Patrol responded to several accidents yesterday afternoon. The first was on Capitola Road near Robinson Farms Road. The crash happened around 5:25 p.m. 3 vehicles were involved. One person was transported to HCA Florida Capitol Hospital. The next accident was on East Tennessee Street in North Magnolia. The car crash happened around 5:45 p.m. It involved two cars. One driver was transported to TMH to get treatment for his injuries. A three-vehicle car crash happened on Bluntstown Highway near Capitol Circle Northwest and happened around 6:06 p.m. At least one person was transported to HCA Florida Capitol Hospital. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Slight chance for scattered thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise partly cloudy. Daytime highs approaching 95, winds out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Slight chance for scattered storms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 70, clear skies and quiet. Highs level off around 93 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 93.
Congratulations to all the class of 2022 graduates. If you'd like to send a congratulations message over the air to your graduate, just call the Lively Technical College Grad Star line at 850-523-7890. That's 523-7890 to leave a message, and we'll play it on the radio as much as we can. No cost, no gimmicks. Just call 850-523-7890 and leave us your messages for a graduate and your family. Congratulations from Lively Technical College.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. Pastor Tabner was alone with a female church employee. She in a towel and he in his boxers. The charismatic 41-year-old Hurley explained the two of them had been making chili and gotten food on their clothes. With the hot dogs that they were making, we are hoping that the pastor used the right condiments.
Think? There was at least one hot dog involved.
I don't know what you're talking about. We were just making chili dogs.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
For answers that aren't on the roster. Somebody asked about the Texas receiver, the transfer from Alabama that was said to be going to Texas, and his availability. That player is Agiye Hall, isn't that his name?
Yeah, something.
Agiye Hall, something like that. I don't know what the answer is here, other than to tell you that if you go to the Texas websites, they say he will be enrolled at Texas by the end of the month. And that was a story that came out less than 24 hours ago.
Yep.
And that he basically, he has not, he removed his posts and all that stuff, which is what people kind of looked at and thought, oh, maybe he's not going. But he's apparently he's ready to roll and is going to be enrolling for June classes. And he removed those posts apparently some time ago. So I don't really think he's available the way that we had hoped he was. He wants to be reunited with Steve Sarkisian, which of course he worked with at Alabama.
Well, it begs the question though, is when you're in a position to get a kid like that, who has a lot of baggage, at least those are the whispers around his camp from recruiting days and his time at Tuscaloosa. Are we in a position now to be able to take chances on players who might upset the apple cart in the locker room?
Have you flipped the
culture
locker
in a
room?
place that it can sustain itself even if you take a risk with a kid? Now, of course, you could argue it doesn't matter. You need to take risks in order to keep your job.
No, I think it matters greatly.
But it's important because you work so hard to turn this thing around.
It's been exhausting. Part of the reason you're not maybe where you want to be is that you had to spend an inordinate amount of time removing the toxicity from the locker room that you didn't bring in, but nonetheless are tasked with fixing. And so to create a culture in which people don't want to just up and transfer, to create a culture in which each of those players in that locker room hold each other accountable, where there's a standard by which you work on a daily basis, to which you work on a daily basis. That all has to be established. And that takes up a lot of energy and a lot of time that could be utilized elsewhere in improving your football team, but it's nonetheless really necessary. So that's where he's between a rock and a hard place, and it has been in between a rock and a hard place. I've always understood the rather precarious position Mike Norvell and staff find themselves in. You're tasked with winning. That's what you're paid handsomely to do, and the sooner the better, and the fan base will let you know that around every turn. But you can't get there until you do all this other stuff to undo the past, the end of Jimbo's time, Willie's time, all of that. And that takes up resources and energy and time, and it's annoying.
Lord knows I'd be the last guy to excuse away Will Muschamp's failures, because he makes a ton of money. But that was his complaint when he got fired from Gainesville. He's like, man, you told me to clean up the mess. You told me to clean up the mess. Now you're saying I'm not winning fast enough. Which is it?
Yeah. No, it's tough. It's tough. It's brutal. It's brutal. Now, again, I won't lose sleep because if you had me to do that, no matter how hard it was, if you're paying me over $3 million a year, I'd shut up and do it. And he is doing that. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stick with it. Fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Taste Buds Radio. Welcome back to Taste Buds Radio. Slow food done fast. Let's go to the phone.
Hi, Taste Buds. I've got no time to make dinner, but I don't want to bring home another bag of droopy burgers. Got anything for me?
Don't worry, the Taste Buds have got you covered. Go to our website, tastebuds.net. That's Taste Buds with a Z. And check out our daily specials. You can order food for the entire week. Take it home when you're ready, heat it up, and you're feeding your family slow food fast.
That's awesome. Thanks, Taste Buds.
Let's take another call.
Hey, y'all got any of them there gift certificates?
Of course. You can purchase in store or on our website at tastebuds.net. That's Taste Buds with a Z. And they're available in any amount.
Well, all right. Thanks, Taste Buds.
Taste Buds, a part of your balanced peace of mind.
Taste Buds Radio.
Tastebuds.net.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states. There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
If we pull back a little bit, and I begin the assessment by saying they're better. They're better than they were a year ago. It's a better football team and program than they've been. They're getting closer to where they want to be. That is true. I think that is true. I don't know specifically how that translates to, the kind of season that in our heart of hearts we'd want them to have, which would be a 10-plus win season. You'd want to see that. That's not likely because they're not there yet, but they're better.
This is interesting. So I've had this moment happen a couple of times in practices, whether it's the team drills at the end or wherever, but it's usually when they go full 11 on 11 and they play. There's a sequence of so many positive plays, one way or the other, where somebody earns a stop or earns a gain of 15, or a quarterback rolls out, he's flushed, but he goes and makes a play. Receiver actually catches the football in traffic, things like that, where I start to get greedy. And I'm thinking to myself for the next rep that I'm watching, all right, here you go. Keep elevating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that's not reasonable to think, because if they kept elevating, then they'd be projecting at 10 wins, and you'd say, well, look at this. They got something for the whole college football world doesn't know what's about to hit them.
Yeah, you're ignoring the ceiling at that point with your enthusiasm. Right. Yeah.
But then that also comes at the expense. Like, why am I disappointed that they're better, markedly better? Like, I shouldn't be. It's just the Noel in me remembering how many times we've been ranked inside the top 4 consecutive years at the end of the year in the AP poll or coaches poll, all those things. Like all of the accolades.
The record-setting 14
in a row
that nobody's come close to.
Right. So that's where my head goes immediately. Is, oh, wait a minute. They could be. Oh, that's not fair. I need to stop myself. But there are flashes when they do things so well in practices that you dare to dream, but that's not realistic. You need to set your sights a little bit lower, but I don't think lower than 7 or 8 wins. I see this team landing in that spot as long as injury luck stays okay and turnover luck isn't absurd.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue. I think that I see enough humbling moments from either the quarterback or the offensive line that I'm well aware of the ceiling. I'm not getting as caught up. I go, okay, all right. But that doesn't mean that I think they're not improved and that they can't be a better team and that the program's not in good hands and isn't moving forward. None of that.
Call today. Call 800-611-9422. 800-611-9422. 800-611-9422.
This is Dr. Ryan Finn from Finn Chiropractic. As a chiropractor, we correct subluxations. Here's the deal. Your brain runs the body through the nervous system. If a bone gets out of place or subluxates, it puts pressure on your nerves. These can cause headaches, neck pain, back pain, arm pain. With Finn Chiropractic, we turn your subluxation into relaxation with an adjustment. Come on by and see us or get in touch with us at finnchiro.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com. Because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Probably. Again, I don't want to play results, which is what everybody does, but you and I agree on that one. Probably not going to go to Armstrong there in that spot. Meat did, and that ball was deposited. If he didn't hit that ball out of the park, I'd worry about his psyche for the rest of his life. It may have been the easiest pitch to hit out of the park in the history of pitches.
But he hit it out of the park.
Oh,
not over the fence.
Yeah,
like
I'm glad it didn't
out
scrape
of the complex.
I'm glad it didn't scrape the wall. There's no illusions about get a little unlucky. No, that was pissed on.
Steve Spurrier was tying one on at a bar just down the road to hit him in the head.
That was a toughie. So Florida State falls, loses the season series 2-1. A season series that, again, I lament every time I see it because obviously gone are the days where we got a true series against our rivals. At least we still have one with Miami. Scalaro, a little bit of both with the 4 1/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 Ks. You would take that all day, every day, but did allow the inherited runners to score rather easily. And, it's just an interesting situation there. By the way, I love, I think Baumeister is going to be really, really, really good. I agree. I like him. And it was a great opportunity to see some mental fortitude there, right? I mean, you give up a bomb, first pitch you throw on the road, rivalry game, that ball leaves center field. You're like, okay, right center at that, huh? And then, you turn around and you get 2 strikeouts in the inning and you look really good.
Right. In the second inning, I think it was, you got second and third, and he pitches out of that jam.
That jam too. Yeah. That kid's tough, and I think he's good. He's going to be a good player. He's going to be. They've got a lot of reasons to be excited about that. The young group that's there. I bring up Tibbs every time I talk about Florida State baseball. He hits the bomb. Just a beautiful swing. You think about how young he is and how good he's going to be. Really, you go up and down this lineup. Some of the better players, whether it's the pitching staff or bullpen arms, I should say, or in the field, you've got some young players that you're very excited about.
It just felt like a game where Meat made the comments on Sunday after taking 2 or 3 from Miami. He's now 6-1 against the Hurricanes. He made the comments that we are in position to host. And it felt like a Tuesday game in March, like when it was originally scheduled, versus a game with the opportunity to fortify your resume to host. That's my gripe with it. But like you said in the first hour, there could be some pitching decisions made on Thursday, as in it's a 1-run game in the 9th. Who's coming out of the pen?
Right. We didn't have everybody available to us, so hence Armstrong makes hits the diamond. I would you got a series that starts on Thursday, and it's unfortunate because I do think maybe it's managed a little bit differently if you don't have that 3-game series against Carolina lurking on Thursday.
Take 2 or 3 there, and everything is in position.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, they're rounding out the year, and then you've got the ACC tournament, regional, and all that good stuff. I'm excited for Friday for the ladies to kick ass as well.
That's an 8:30 first pitch, weather permitting.
Yeah, and the hard part for all of us as fans, especially with a program, this is true of soccer too, by the way. They're so good and so consistently good that you can take for granted all these wins and the things that lead up to the College World Series, right? So when you win the ACC, you may not be as enthusiastic about it as you should be, or you may not take the time to reflect the way that we ought to when you win 7 of the last 8 ACC titles. when you think it's national championship or bust, it's easy to take for granted any postseason success that isn't part of a World Series winning game or on their way to a national championship. Truth is, as talented and as good as this softball team is, I do worry about the pitching. And I do think that ultimately it will be their undoing. I do believe that.
Once you get past Cat, and even she can run into strings where there's a lot of hard contact, and you might need, an atom ball or adder ball, I guess.
Yeah.
To get out of an inning.
Yeah, I'm not in love with them from a pitching standpoint. But listen, the joy with which they play the game is infectious. There's a ton of talent. They can really score.
They really matched. Last year they had trouble with that.
Yeah.
This year
they
matched. They got
They
two
matched.
players with over 15 home runs. Like Edenfield got all the run, but now Harding's got 15 this year. So you've got boppers, and then Cheryl the last month has hit a bunch of home runs. So yeah,
It's exciting. It's a fun team. It's a fun time of year. It's weird, like, cause tomorrow PGA Championship gets underway. You guys know that I host the Sirius XM show, the PGA Tour channel. I love golf, love to bet on golf. I really have gotten over the top on my gambling for golf, Tom. Got a lot going on with my friends at Prize Picks this week.
Boy, by your definition, if you're saying over the top on your curve that you grade by, how many thousands of dollars do you have going this week, if that's the case?
Listen, I got a lot going this week
Several.
on Prize
Okay.
Pick. Prize Pick's going to be a big week for me. I'll venture down the road with you a little bit here. Let me pull this up on the air because
Just before, as you're pulling it up, can I offer
transparent
a congratulations to Trey Jones and the Florida State golf program?
dominating.
Yes, the last 2 days especially, they finished in second in the Palm Beach Regional. Vandy shot 20 under par, including 11 under today. They're the number 3 team in the country, so they're expected to do that. But FSU finished second. You only needed to be a top 5, but they finished in second place in that regional. They are off to the national championships. Good for them.
Yeah, congratulations to my friend who I get to see it between the ropes and outside of them. I can see the emotion and the hard work, the effort and the time spent mastering his craft as a coach and being a mentor as well as a coach to those players. Trey and his lovely wife, Kathy, and their family are outstanding people whom I've gotten, had the great pleasure to get to know over the years. I consider them friends. And so it is more personal for me when I watch Florida State golf than any other sport because I know their family. I know those guys. I know his assistants. I know that program. And so I beam with pride when they do well.
And a secondary level of congratulations to Brett Roberts, who shoots a 67 on the third day to take home the individual low score at the regional. The best part of the news for Florida State is that Ketrup, Frederick,
he's
finished tied 25th at +5, and they still advance and they cruise. So if you're looking for somebody who is due to take it to the next level, beautiful. Brett takes it home for you in the individual title. Your best player, arguably, did not play that great.
Oh, not arguably, he didn't.
Yeah.
And he's really good.
Trey would say that, too.
Trey
would say that, too.
No, he didn't play well
All
at
right.
all.
We're on the brink of being on TV again, which is the important thing. Can we just make it through those first couple of days to get on TV on Golf Channel?
Yeah, and they've been chasing the national championship, and they've come really, really close a number of times. And hell, if your boy out there at Pepperdine's not just steady chipping in.
Mr. Bucket Hat.
There's nothing you can do about that. That Trey says it all the time. He's right. You can't do anything about what your opponent does. You just go out there and play, and you just hope like hell.
Yeah, but you could shake your head and be pissed about it. And Trey made the camera doing that a couple of times, putting the pin in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he wins the hole. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
My man just chipped in again, did you? Yeah.
He didn't have a poker face. I was like, oh, I feel you, Trey.
Well,
I'm pissed off too.
It was ridiculous. They had that whole one that the kid chipped in on. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Now we're going to miss an 8-footer. Okay,
Yeah,
I see you.
well,
okay.
yeah.
It's a great game. This is the greatest game in the world.
Oh, man. Brutal. Jimmy wants to know whether we're hiring Tim Brewster. I don't think it matters anymore. Tim Brewster is obviously promoting himself right now excessively to try to get
That's what he does.
a gig. And, in the world before NIL, there was value to Tim Brewster. I don't know that there is anymore, but
that's the thing, that you need to redefine what it is a bag man is.
Right.
Is it just somebody who can get you in the room now because they have the relationships, or is it something like, unless maybe they refine the rules, then you might need the bag man again. But right now you don't need that guy. And as I've understood it, things cooled off. So,
Well, all I'm going to say is people look at him as this recruiting expert, a guy that can really recruit. But again, what does that mean anymore? Jimbo's number 1 rated class at Texas A&M, record-setting class through hard work and perseverance, is alleged to have spent in the neighborhood of $30 million. There wasn't a lot of wooing, at least not the verbal kind, that we're accustomed to in recruiting. It was a straight-up gangster, would you like $1 million to come play for us? You would you? All right, I know a man.
Well, what do you say?
Yeah, come on down, buddy. We'll kick ass together. So, I mean, we can do, and I don't know how important these guys are anymore. Everybody identified who those guys were for years, right? And when we got one.
Oh, we had quite a few.
Yeah. When we had guys that were identified in that way, you'd be like, all right, he is a great coach. And that's all you'd say. Everybody wink, wink, nod, nod, knew the deal, and that was that. I mean, Damian Craig, we were all like, what a great hire.
Yeah.
Quarterback coach indeed.
Indeed. Eddie Gran.
Right?
Very fiery personality. Great interview. And you could see why he would be compelling.
Yeah.
As he made a pitch.
Very compelling.
You got that kind of rhetoric with a couple of bucks? All right.
How about the blatant disrespect to Tiger Woods on Prize Picks? You ready, Tom?
What have they done?
Strokes. Tiger likes that. Strokes. All right. Now, here you go. Here you go, right?
Easy, pal.
So what I'll tell you is the way they get around it on Prize Picks, the way that you're able to gamble illegally on Prize Picks is that the way they make it legal is they just number of strokes. So you don't bet like there's no over unders is the way that they it's the phrasing. It's the phrasing.
Right. Of course.
Yes. Phrasing.
It's not a bet either. It's a pick.
It's a pick. Correct. So I picked below 74 strokes.
There you go. Good choice.
But 74 was the number. What kind of disrespectful nonsense is that? To give you by way of comparison, Victor Hovland 72, Rory McIlroy 71.5, Patrick Cantlay 71.5, my man Will Zalatoris 72, Matt Kuchar, I mean, 2-stroke better than Tiger. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, Kuchar I'll give you, but like if Hovland is a 2-shot difference, that feels about right.
Yeah. Victor's an elite player. Keegan Bradley's 2 shots better than Tiger.
Director chimes in that John Daly is at a cool 83.5.
So here's my favorite part. I actually coupled John Daly in my birdies are better bet. So I did. My birdies are better bet. And I'll tell you what it is right now. I'm pulling it up.
Wipe up the problems graphic, please.
Justin Thomas over 3 birdies or better. And John Daly, you only have to do if he has 1 birdie, I win the bet. It's 0.5.
Wait, for John Daly?
John Daly is 0.5.
He has to make 1 birdie.
1 birdie, I win the bet.
All right.
John Daly's going to birdie a hole. He still hits it a gazillion miles.
That's right. Yeah.
And every weekend on the Champions Tour, whatever the hell they call the Old Man Tour now, he's in contention. So
1 birdie.
One,
give me one effing birdie. One. Well, look at that. John Daly's 1 under through 1. Cash.
Boom.
Pay window.
Thank you, Prize Picks. Fleecing Prize Picks these days, buddy. Can't wait. Let's go. They did have a run against me, though. I was really doing well.
Was it Bryce's scholarship fund or Clark's?
No, just my little little side hustle. I take my gambling winnings and I place them over here, and then I take a percentage of those winnings, and we right on down. But what I was doing, I got beat up a little bit in the NBA playoffs. The last 2 weeks got beat up a little bit. I need the PGA Championship to be my.
Did you pick Boston last night?
I didn't bet last night.
Okay, there you go.
I didn't bet anything last night. And no, they were no. When
that
I found out
quarter was unholy.
Well, when I found out that Smart wasn't going to play, I was like, well,
yeah.
I mean, if the Heat didn't win that game, they weren't going to win a game, so they had to win that one. I also like Scotty Scheffler and Cameron Smith to go under 71. You can pair those two nicely together, and you'll be all right. Just as an aside,
like a New York strip and a fine Merlot.
You could do that. Also, a couple of power play picks for holes played.
I love it. Does he make the cut or not?
Holes played is what they do. And
let me guess, 36.5 is the
correct.
number?
That is correct.
Okay.
36.5 is the number. How smart is that?
That's really smart.
Yeah. Holes played, 36.5. I went over for Tiger. I think he's going to make the cut.
You're damn right.
I went under for that slap ass, look at me, I'm injured, but it's still trying to play Bryson DeChambeau.
So he's going to give it a go.
He says so. I don't think
that's probably a no bet if he withdraws. Though,
it isn't.
Right? You'd have to reset and scramble back.
I looked it up. It's a no bet if he does. So there's nothing to lose there. I hope he plays and shoots a 97. I hope he does. It'd be great, and then he'll blame his equipment. But yeah, so what a week! What a week, my friend.
I know the PGA. I'm usually psyched up for. It's a very much
Plus
an afterthought.
Bolts.
It's an afterthought this week.
No,
all I've got is that Rory's going to play well.
course.
That's all I've got. Rory's going to do it. He's going to play well.
Hideki will play well. Justin Thomas will play well. Scheffler will play well. Last 7 tournaments on tour, Scheffler is far and away the best player in the world.
Oh, there you go. You influenced Garrett. Garrett's a player now.
Is he?
He heard your John Daly pitch. He liked the reasoning, and he said, I'm going to play it.
Let's go, Garrett. Let's have fun, buddy. Let's win together. I don't know. We'll see. The beauty of Prize Picks is that you can kind of marry all these different numbers and just have fun with it. You don't have to, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble here, but I mean, if you look at those are my entries. Sorry, let me go back to the board. You can do strokes, birdies are better, greens in regulation, fairways hit, holes played, hole 6 greens in regulation, hole 11 green in regulation, hole 14 green in regulation.
What?
Oh yeah, it's so much fun.
What are those, the par 3s, I guess?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, you basically do they hit the green? It's good. It's good, and there's risk reward holes too. So certain par 5s numbers at 4.5.
I have not looked at this course at all. I need to brush up. I need a crash course tonight.
Southern Hills is famous. You've seen Southern Hills.
I'm sure I have.
You have. It's a good course, man. It's great. That's going to be fun. It's a good test in a lot of ways.
One could say we live in Southern Hills.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Physical stress on our bodies can take its toll as the years go by. Whether you're looking to get back into an old sport or just want to spend more time outdoors to explore all life has to offer in our beautiful city, the dedicated team at TOC is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all your orthopedic needs. And now, scheduling an appointment has never been easier. Just visit teamtoc.com and click schedule online. That's teamtoc.com.
Now go call Seminole Glass. They'll get on the road and get it done fast.
Your local family-owned glass company, serving the Big Bend for over 15 years. At Seminole Auto Glass, we care about your safety. Insurance will send you wherever it benefits them, not the quality of service. There's a difference in auto glass companies. Trust your local auto glass experts. Seminole Auto Glass.
They handle any kind of broken glass, and you know who they are.
Better call Seminole.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458, 800-481-1458, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's,
bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Matt, when you think of a successful Southern cookout, what do you think of first?
The food, of course.
The food, but you got to think about the food prep. And Hearth and Patio has thought about that with their awesome grills.
What kind of grills?
Fire Magic, Broil Master, Blaze Grills, Kamado Joe. Matt, they got it all.
Wow.
Custom outdoor kitchens. Create an outdoor cooking space.
You'll be the envy of your neighborhood.
You will be the envy of your neighborhood, and you'll make a lot of people jealous. That's because you called Hearth and Patio at 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. Or you can visit Hearth and Patio online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
It's a backyard barbecue party. What's Lee Holcomb's number one more time?
850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. The Hearth and Patio, they not only keep the home fires burning, Hearth and Patio will elevate your grilling game.
Nice.
Nice indeed.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
Didn't have the E-tag. What do you want from me?
The YouTubers missed it.
What a great show.
Oh, man. People are still talking about transfers, man. We may have a week where that doesn't come up, but maybe not. I keep waiting for a player of significance to hit that portal that we actually have a shot at. What's funny is that when you hear rumors that this player or that player is still available, like even that Texas kid, right? Where you're talking about whether or not the locker room could sustain bringing a kid who's had a problematic past in, that is rumored at the very least to be kind of a problem child, but very, very talented. We can debate all those things, but I don't think we're the team that he would look to. I don't, that's the thing. It's like, until we get to a point where we're viable, it really is, I think, an understatement to note that Jermaine Johnson was an extreme outlier. I mean, it really is. And it is a testament to the job they did getting on it early and challenging him.
Yeah, and, I think it also helps that you have a tip from a guy and a guy you trust in the Georgia.
Correct.
That's the thing. These coaches talk. Like, you think of them, if you're a fan, like you. Like, they'll never talk to the rivals. I mean, they might. If they go back, they might talk to each other, and maybe they can help each other out. Now, they wouldn't do so in a setting where it's Florida versus Florida State, or Miami's coaching staff wouldn't send a player up to Tallahassee because he needs help. But these guys have connections that predate the laundry that they're wearing, your laundry. So that was the inside information that we got with Jermaine, which was, hey, we've got a guy, Mike. I think he's going to fit with you okay. You just need to do this, this, and that.
Yeah, and I think that the other aspect of never closing the door or not making certain assumptions is that when you lose out on in recruiting a player, an amateur player, a high school player, like we did famously now with Travis Hunter, you don't ever stop saying nice things and doing nice things as much as it hurts you to do so, because you may get him on the rebound. I mean, there's a good chance you will. And I've noted that Norvell didn't have any negative things to say about that situation. I'm sure he was bitterly disappointed.
You can hear it between the words.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. But you don't want to slam the door shut on that. That kid 2 years from now could be starting for Florida State. So I don't know that that'll happen, but I'm just saying that is something now that is part of the job description for head coaches is And it's weird, too, because you want to believe that when you win a kid over and he signs with you, that you got him, but you got to re-recruit him constantly. And you got to assume that if you lost the kid, that you may still get him down the line. So that's a lot, but that's what you're paid to do. So, hey, so be it. I would, I was reading on warchant.com and, we go every day now and check the transfer portal and you're looking for names and everybody gets excited about the potential of this kid or that kid. But I'm always skeptical while also noting that there are possibilities that may be coming in June. We don't know. I mean, it happens. So think about when you got Gibbons. Think about when you got certain guys. But I see, for example, there's a player, a high-profile player that we made the top 6 for. I think it's a defensive lineman. Dude, the game has changed so much in recruiting that even if you make the final 3, is anybody ever again going to believe that you got a guy?
No, I think where this is going, just in terms of high school recruiting, is maybe the early signing period does indeed move to August.
Yeah.
And you've got an automatic out in the early signing period in every NLI. Can't get those confused, right? That says if your position coach or your head coach leaves, then you have the ability to back out of the deal and you don't have to come to campus. But I think that in doing that, you might be able to buy more of the hype in May for a recruit. If you make a top 3 list in May, well, okay. Does he intend to sign in August? Great. Okay.
Right.
This is real. But if it's in May and I'm in his top 6 and he could sign in December, that's just way too damn long. And look at AZ Thomas.
We found out.
We weren't even in his top 6 or his top 3.
Yeah.
But we kept on chipping away. To your point, kept on
calling,
being nice,
stay there,
establishing a relationship.
Let him know.
We weren't even in the running, and then we landed him, and it might make all the difference.
Well, he's a player that whenever I get down in the dumps about the dearth of talent that I described last hour, that I get excited about because he looks the part. He looks like a guy that would have been here during a dominant run for Florida State. He's a guy that you look at and you say would have been capable, we think, of emerging on, say, the 2013, 2014 teams. He's that kind of talent. McCall, too, is an elite talent. They've got a couple of guys that you're like, yes, that was the right play. That's a good-looking guy. In terms of athleticism, intelligence, body type, all that stuff is there. AZ could start for us this year.
Yeah, I think so.
I really believe that.
That's the other, part of the discussion, which who's going to be your second corner?
Mm-hmm.
Well, by November, let's just, you could be a little bit more conservative.
I think he will be.
He might be a lot sooner than that. Like Amarian Cooper had graduated to starting corner and he wasn't here in the spring. So that's also something where I hear we're not developing. I push back a little bit. Fuller with defensive backs. Well, hang on a minute now.
Yeah.
You got Amarian Cooper graduated up the level enough and to the speed of the game that he was a starting corner for you by the end of his true freshman season.
I really don't think it's crazy to suggest that AZ will be starting for this team at some point this year. I really don't. I don't think that's a leap at all. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in game 1. I really wouldn't. He's that kind of talent. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that's a bit presumptuous.
Wouldn't be surprised if not, though. Just like if he,
freshman, sure. So you don't know, but man, physically, he seems very mature too for his age. When you hear him
everything
talk,
about the way he carries himself is smooth, man,
silky smooth and confident. He's got the right body type to do it too. This is not real news. It came out yesterday. We didn't bring it up because I don't know that it was all that newsworthy, but you have the Friday night game against Louisville on September the 16th. That's a night game, primetime game. Now they've added the national spotlight Sunday night game against LSU. We knew that. I mean, we pretty much knew
just
that.
Didn't know the network or maybe the exact kickoff time.
Yeah. So, and then of course, they have the primetime game against Florida November the 25th on a Friday night, which a little less desirable, but nonetheless. So those games are kicking off 7:30 on ABC, both of them, LSU and Florida.
As we understood it, when we agreed to play on Black Friday against the Gators, it was assured that it would be a primetime kickoff
game, right? That's the way
because we're such a, this city is so hard to get to. You need all day to get here the day after Thanksgiving. So give yourself the best chance. But I just wonder, what percentage of attendees did you lose from out of town markets because you kicked this game off on a Friday? How many people are going to make a holiday happen in Tallahassee, for example?
Right,
they would have in Atlanta or Miami or Jacksonville, wherever. You probably lose 8 to 10,000. You're going to have to make up those ticket sales somewhere else.
They will. That game, if we're having the kind of year that Florida State is expecting to have, hoping to have, I think they'll still sell that out. They'll be all right.
Yeah, you got a much better chance with 7:30 versus even if it was 3:30.
Right. Yeah. It's the Fresh from Florida Sunshine Showdown, buddy.
Do we get money for that? I guess we have to.
Fresh from Florida Sunshine Showdown. The first Thanksgiving Friday primetime game ever for the Fresh from Florida Sunshine Showdown.
Same day as England, United States.
On ABC.
In the World Cup. World Cup, England, USA. Nightcap, Gators, Noles in tally.
That's going to be a big day, buddy. That's going to be a fun day.
Pace yourself.
Maintain?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I got a pregame, in-game, postgame. I'll be busy. So that's easy for me.
I got a pregame.
That's right. Yeah, but if the pregame is after the World Cup match, that's where the maintain comes in.
Yeah, got to maintain.
That's right.
Good times, big times.
I will never forget where I was for the draw with England years ago. I was at AJ's. It was a Saturday afternoon, I want to say.
Yeah.
And our goal basically hit the keeper in the chest and spun off of him and went in.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, the good old days of doing live remotes at AJ's.
Oh, that was just for fun.
No, I'm just saying.
I was young enough.
Those were good times back in the day. What's over there now?
I forget, but it was they broke it up into smaller places.
And there's a 2-story building in front of it.
It was something Cow for a minute with good burgers.
That's
As
right.
Tallahassee was on the rise as like the burger capital of Florida.
But it's not that at all. They had milkshakes too, didn't they?
Yeah, it was like Spotted Cow maybe, something like that.
For like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I think there must have been some money laundering going on there or something. What was going on there? That was crazy.
That was also downtown. There was a place. Not our friend who ran that particular establishment, but post Po' Boys. There was some
shenanigans.
The place
there.
in between the deck and Po' Boys. Rest in peace to both of those places.
By the way, didn't that place have ludicrous prices for burgers and shakes and drinks and stuff?
And then they set fire to it.
They set fire to it, yeah. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Florida A&M University is one of several universities that will reap the benefits of the new HBCU Transformation Project. The project dedicates an initial donation of $60 million from Blue Meridian Partners towards increasing enrollment, improving student retention and graduation rates, and increasing staff capacity for HBCUs across the country. The Thomas County Sheriff's Office says it has arrested a former Hollywood actor and stuntman who taught at the Young Actors Conservatory in Thomasville on charges of sexual battery on a minor, rape, and sexual assault. Ryan Carr, 37, was arrested after a complaint saying Carr had provided alcohol and drugs to a minor in order to coerce her into having sex with him. That victim was a student of his at the theater company. Carr is also accused of inappropriately touching another minor while he was working as a gymnastics coach at a local gym. Carr was booked into the Thomas County Jail and is being held without bond. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Slight chance for scattered thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise partly cloudy. Daytime highs approaching 95, winds out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Slight chance for scattered storms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 70, clear skies and quiet. Highs level off around 93 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 93.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Of 97 patients, 33 are vaccinated, and 63% are considered incidental.
See, this is what I'm upset about. He's basically made up the percentages to look like it's at 100%, but the two are not related to each other.
What's 37% of 97?
It's 35.89.
So why in the hell can't he literally ask iPhone to include that in his articles?
Maybe he's got an Android.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Help it. It's list season. And I did what I roll my eyes at all the time. I clicked on a list. What are you going to do? The list, as done by CBS Sports on their NCAA football page, Tom Fornelli, college experts, quote unquote, have ranked every Power 5 coach from 1 to 65 as the upcoming season approaches.
Who?
College football experts.
Oh, okay.
You want to know what the top 25 is? So this is where you're like, really? But they do have, and I didn't know they've been doing this for this long. They have what the coach was previously ranked and whether they've moved up or down on their.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Need context here.
Well, here we go. At number 25, I will do this for all coaches.
Okay.
But at number 25, I'm looking at ACC coaches. Dave Doran. And Dave, we thought at one time might be one of the worst coaches in the league, and we made fun of Dave. But he had those consecutive 9-win seasons in 17 and 18, but a 4-8 record in 19. You're kind of like, oh, Dave's back to being Dave again. Okay, good. But my man's gone 18-7 the last 2 years at NC State, and they're one of the better teams in the ACC. And so Dave has found himself in the top 25 coaches of the ACC.
Getting fat on players who can play at 23. Good job, Dave. Use the resources around you.
That's correct. Mac Brown is on the list at number 20.
Oh, my God. You have got to be kidding me.
Well, he went to the Orange Bowl this previous season, so you have to give him credit there, even though he can't beat us ever in the history of living. He has never beaten us.
I think that undoes going to the Orange Bowl.
I don't know, man.
Consecutive losses to this Florida State.
I'm just saying, if you go to the Orange Bowl at North Carolina, it's doing some things. He did do it. This past year was a bitter disappointment. He needs to fall. He did fall. He went from 12 on this list to top 20. He's still top 20. They went 6-7, 3-5 in the ACC, and I agree. Sound the fraudulent goats. At 19, Miami's Mario Cristobal.
All right.
Dropped 3 spots from being number 16 a year ago out at Oregon.
They would have had him at number 5 after beating Ohio State, I'm sure.
So there they are at 19. Dave Clawson at Wake Forest at 17. I think we like Dave Clawson.
Respect.
Respect to Dave Clawson.
Yeah, mad respect.
A non-ACC coach relevant to us is Kentucky's Mark Stoops at 16.
A dude I would have been okay with taking this job. That's okay. We're climbing now.
I still don't know that I would have been okay. He would have really, I mean, again, I don't know.
Would it have been worse? At least to this point?
Probably not. I don't know if it would be any better, though, either. I really don't. I like Mark, but obviously Nick Saban was number 1 on this list. Number 2 was Kirby Smart. Dabo Swinney 3. Laughable. We'll see. We'll see. Again, it's pretty hard not to have him in the top 5, given what he's accomplished at Clemson.
Sure, I'd put him at number 3 if Tony Elliott and Brent Venables were still there. He'd absolutely be the number 3 head coach in the country if he had all of his assistants, yes.
What I don't understand is the weight they give Jimbo Fisher here at number 5. And they write, being one of the few active coaches with a national championship gives Fisher plenty of weight in the rankings. But that title was nearly a decade ago, right? Furthermore, while Texas A&M almost reached the college football playoff in 2020, which, by the way, newsflash, they didn't reach the college football playoff in 2020. They almost did, but they didn't. They followed that season up by going 8-4. 8-4. So he's lost at least 4 games in 3 of the 4 seasons that he's been there. Why is he number 5?
Being that he's won a national championship and has it on his resume.
I mean, again, he has recruited exceptionally well, and if they go to a playoff, then you'd be like, okay, we'll put him up there. But dude, they steady lose 4 games. Period. They steady lose 4 games a year, and typically that includes an absolutely mystifying head scratcher where you're like, they just lost at home today to Auburn, who's won 2 games this year. What the hell happened there? Like he does that every year.
Yeah, they escaped Colorado too last year. And
7-3.
Yeah, it was.
The hell out of here.
Your boy may have played that game and be like, "Oh, Jimbo, thank you." Just in case I could have had some olive branches here. There will be no olive branches.
So what I would do, by the way, is I would take my guy, Kyle Whittingham at Utah, and I'd be like, we're moving you way up here. Because look at Utah out here.
Yeah.
Look at Utah out here.
Yeah, he lines your pockets. That's why you like him.
What's not to like? He's got 4 division titles in the Pac-12 since arriving. It's not like it's just winning Jeff money.
What is the Pac-12?
Owned by Utah. That's
Right,
what the Pac-12 is. My man Kyle Whittingham saying this is what time it is.
I think that tells you. It's unfortunate for Kyle that winning the Pac-12 diminishes your ability to put your name out there.
Hold on a second.
Winning a division in the Pac-12.
My man won the Pac-12 and went to the Rose Bowl and played one of the most electrifying games in Rose Bowl history against Ohio State, who had a decided advantage in talent. Kyle Whittingham can coach now. You're not second-guessing Kyle.
Not necessarily. I'm just saying, what is the profile of winning the Pac-12 anyway? It's like winning the Coastal. Like, he's got 3 Coastals to his resume. Like, okay,
hey,
congratulations.
At this point, if Mike Norvell could finish 2nd in the Atlantic, we'd herald that as a major accomplishment. And if he ever could, because he couldn't, but if somehow he won a division, a Coastal, I mean, we're not in the Coastal.
He's already a top 3 coach in America. What are you talking about? We're golden.
Now, I think high on my list of, I continue to do the 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you. I'm forever circling tent of suspicion type activity. Matt Campbell at Iowa State. Try to beat Iowa once in your life. Tent of suspicion.
For the Cy-Hawk Trophy. I was ready.
You were ready. I'd forgotten about it. 2 fingers, buddy. Right back at you, Matt Campbell. What do you say about Paul Christ at Wisconsin, who they have in the list at 14?
Well, 14's a boring number, so that's perfect for him.
Think he's better than... You like Paul Christ more than you like, say, Sam Pittman? My man,
Big Suey.
There it is. Way to go, Sam Pittman.
I like Paul Christ more now because of the gif of him ripping Miami.
Ripping Miami?
Yeah.
With the turnover chain? It was a good moment.
That's really, yeah, for a boring man, he had a really lively moment.
That was a good moment.
But Sam Pittman is he's America's coach, I think.
I love
Everybody
Sam
looks at him, they're like, I hope he does well. Yeah. I hope his family's doing well.
I hope he's in good health, too. I'm worried about his
I'm
health.
worried about him.
I'm worried about him.
Looks a little beat red there. It's 65 out. I don't know why he looks so beat red.
Sam's the guy you're drinking with, and he keeps going, and you're like, Sam, we got to go home. And then Sam's like, no, and then orders a steak. You're like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, Sam. You wake up, you had a great time, but you're like, damn, is Sam alive?
That's
Can
amazing.
we?
So when you're like the guy who has another round, I'm like, oh, that could be a lot of people.
It could be a lot of people.
Orders a steak. Wait a minute.
I had to throw something extra in there. I have ordered the extra round in your presence for us.
Usually it's a strong hand too. You're not going anywhere.
But you don't see me doubling up with like, hey, let's get some cheeseburgers too.
That's
I
right.
don't do that.
I got you 2 cheeseburgers. Come on, man.
Let's go.
Let's crush it.
Sam, you want to hang with Sam? He's fun, and he's done a good job. But Sam always crosses the line. He's an habitual line stepper. We're out. We're having a good time. He starts telling great stories from yesteryear in football. And the next thing you know, you're like, why did we get more food, Sam? We don't need more food.
Oh, sure we do.
Come on. They're taking care of us. It's all good. Don't
Try
worry
the
about
tater tots
Yeah.
here. Unbelievable.
Sam, you're going to be dead before kickoff. You only live once, Jeff. Come on. Woo pig suey. Let's do this. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry books to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com. For better style, quality, and design, go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks, we fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. Some people call me Paul because I work at Paul's Termite and Pest Control. Everyone that works here will proudly answer to the name Paul. One of the things I love about my job is that I get to help people fix their problems every day. If you have pests in your home, and you're like 99.9% of the people I deal with, you want them gone, not tomorrow, but right now. It always puts a smile on my face to hear the reaction of a customer when I tell them we'll have someone out there in a couple of hours. At Paul's, I get the privilege of making your environment safer and more healthy for your family and pets. And because Paul's provides a same-day service guarantee with minimal wait, we get to begin the process right after I receive the call.
If you live in Leon County and call us by noon, Paul's Pest Control will be out by 5, guaranteed. We're a local company, and it's our mission to help keep Tallahassee area customers comfortable and free from the problems that pests bring. And we do so with treatments that are friendly to our environment for the elimination of termites and any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too. Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Why am I not seeing some of my stuff has been stolen?
I did it again.
You got me again.
Our quality went on the road.
Chad, Shannon, Hamilton Home Loans. Yes.
Lebowski.
Yeah, that's what I was doing there. 844 FSU loan. And I'm going to get my new copy. Where's my copy? People are stealing the copy. Probables, Tom. Cue it up, buddy. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
As brought to you by North Florida Payroll Services, locally owned for nearly 15 years, offering payroll HR services, including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money. Get this today. Head to NorthFloridaPayroll.com. They're in the fifth. The Rays lead 4-0 over Detroit. That game was started by Eduardo Rodriguez and Drew Rasmussen. Braves lead Milwaukee 4-2. Good, Braves. Good job. Screw Milwaukee. Eternally. Max Fried and Corbin Burns. 4-2. Fifth. Just underway, San Francisco, Colorado. No score. Logan Webb, Kyle Freeland. We've got the Twins and the A's tonight. Sonny Gray and Dalton Jeffries. D-backs, Dodgers, Zach Davies, Walker Buehler.
Trapper Keeper. Dalton Jeffries also is a career character actor in England, yeah?
Yeah, it's a good name, yeah. Oh, look, Dalton Jeffries again.
Right.
He'll do a good job.
He was in everything from Lawrence of Arabia through the Winston Churchill movie.
Still getting work. D-backs, Dodgers, Zach Davies, Walker Buehler. You already did it.
Yeah, Trapper Keeper.
I felt like you passed over the first one, so I wanted you to. Reds, Guardians, Tyler Mahal and Cal Quantrill.
Trapper Keeper.
Astros, Red Sox, Luis Garcia and Nick Pivetta. Nationals, Marlins, Josiah Gray. There's Josiah. Pablo Lopez going for the Marlins. Padres, Phillies, Blake Snell, Zach Wheeler. Okay. Yankees, Orioles, Garrett Cole, Jordan Lyles. Mariners, Blue Jays, Marco Gonzalez, Kevin Gossman. We got the Cardinals and the Mets. That's one last night, right?
Split the doubleheader.
Okay. Take care of business tonight. Do the right thing. Take out the Cardinals. Jordan Hicks, Max Scherzer on the hill.
Let's go.
That'll help. Buccos, not very good. 15-21. Slipping away from us. Taking on the 15-20 Cubs. That's Will Crow, Drew Smiley. Angels, Rangers, Shohei Ohtani. Hey. Dane Dunning. And finally, White Sox, Royals, Lucas Giolito and Zach Greinke. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the boat. You know what I'm depressed by? Because of the stupid YouTube rules. Right now, you could be playing Summer Wind. We could be going into Summer Wind.
Could be, but alas.
Screwed. Yeah, maybe you should do it anyhow.
Oh, yeah. That'll be...
Test it.
That would really go well.
Yeah, they'll yank it, won't they?
Well, there'd be an email from Gene and 3, too, because, you're putting the channel at risk, so.
Oh, I don't want to put the channel at risk. Are that serious? Can't we get... I mean, come on, guys.
It's just your intellectual property that we're using.
Just a tiny little Summer Wind. What? Who wouldn't want it?
It came roaring in. Or blowing in.
Yeah. Maybe when I get in the car.
The heat index today is like 97, so we're here.
Go check out the FSU LSU video for the college sports book that I did. Matthew edited it. I wrote it and performed it. It was like a play. And I, give a little bit of a gambling advice on that one. It's tough this time of year, man. Tough this time of year. You still got to figure out the rosters. It's especially true with LSU. Like, there's a lot. They brought in 14 transfers, 2 of whom are very significant. One of them from Arkansas, aforementioned Sam Pittman, but one of them from Oklahoma State, who's going to start and be really good. And so, I mean, I'm still interested to see. It's hard to make a bet when you don't know who their starting quarterback's going to be.
This is true. Yeah. Unless you're on the Florida State side saying that they're going to be a bit of a mess, and I'll take the 4.5 as a value because I believe this game is going to be a pick 'em.
I think that number is going to come down. I will tell you that, by the way. Also, pretty cool. They discovered a 13-foot, 400-pound freshwater stingray in the Mekong. So that's the Mekong River, famous for crazy stuff being in it that I wouldn't get close to. This thing is massive. 400 pounds in the murky depths of the Mekong. Can you imagine that?
In the murky depths of the Mekong. Now, there's a band name.
I just went with that on my own.
Sure, in another language, it'd be shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing is massive. I'm looking at it right now. It's tremendous. But once again, thanks to my listeners who know that I would be enthralled by something like this. That's in Cambodia. It's a 100-mile stretch of river where they still don't know all the stuff that's in there. I'm very fascinated by it. But see, you go out there and explore, and imagine being that bastard who has to go down there and get down in the muck to find a freshwater stingray that's 13 feet long.
What's Danny DeVito doing here? Take a look at this stingray.
Listen, at certain depths of that river in the upper Mekong are 300 feet deep. Ooh. Could be aliens down there living. Who knows? Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.